Hello, it's Rebecca and today is another book review day, and I thought over Christmas I would get myself into an extra festive Christmas mood by reading some cheesy chick lit rom-com Christmas romancy type books, because I don't really read that much chick lit, but I do enjoy it because it's kind of harmless and silly and all that kind of stuff. So I thought I would find some Christmassy type books and read those over December. So I have been reading The 12 Dates of Christmas by Lisa Dickenson. So I will read you the blurb and then talk to you about the book. At 30, Claudia's life is stale and the romance with her boyfriend Seth has disappeared. Determined to inject some festive spark back into their love life, Claudia and Seth go on their first date in a very long time. But when the night ends in disaster, Claudia finds herself facing life and Christmas alone. Life alone is exciting, scary and full of soon-forgotten exercise regimes. It's also filling up with dates, surprisingly. With best friends Penny and Nick at her side, a surplus of festive markets, mulled wine and Christmas tunes, Claudia attempts to face all this change with gusto. One thing's for certain, this year Christmas is going to be very different. So, this book is divided up into 12 chapters, the 12 dates of Christmas, and Claudia, and I don't think this is given too much away because it does happen in the first few pages, Claudia goes on a date with her long-term boyfriend Seth, and they have a big fight and split up. And Claudia goes to drown her sorrows in a bar, and across the road Seth is there with his hands and mouth all over another woman. So Claudia knows for sure that the relationship is over and she's just got to now move on. She wasn't happy with Seth, and this kind of gives her that reason to break it off and start anew. So she goes and stays with her friend Penny, and Penny sets her up on some blind dates that, as you can imagine, don't go particularly well. They're just not what she's looking for, but she wants to kind of forget about Seth and just try to move on. Although, I think if I was Claudia, I would have taken a little bit of a break, but it's almost like 12 dates within 12 days. They're so fast in quick succession that, you know, she probably should have taken just a little bit of time to herself. But anyway, she goes on these dates to Winter Wonderland. She goes up the Shard. Oh, it's set in London, by the way, as you can probably tell from the front cover. There's all the London landmarks. Yeah, so she goes on wintry, Christmassy dates. She goes ice skating. It's all very twee and cliche. I mean, if you've ever been to London at Christmas, and I'm going next week, you have to wear full body armour because you will be pushed and shoved out of the way. Queues are 100 miles long. You cannot get anywhere or do anything. I don't know why people go to London in December to try and do Christmassy type things, because it's absolute chaos. It really, really is. And you come away battered and bruised. But Claudia, in her perfect little Christmas world of romance and love, that doesn't happen. It's all smooth sailing with regards to being able to get onto a Ferris wheel and being able to go ice skating. Little things happen along the way that aren't particularly great, but as for realism, if you've ever been to London, you'll know that places are packed. She always finds a table in a pub. You never find a table in a pub at Christmas in London. But anywho, that's just little things that kind of niggled me throughout. It's an okay story. It's pretty typical and cliched, and the outcomes are what you expect. And it's a slushy happy ending with ups and downs throughout the story. But for what it is, and it's not highbrow literature, it's not anything, you know, really amazing. It's not particularly well written, but that doesn't matter because the story did keep me gripped, and she does leave little cliffhangers at the ends of chapters, or sort of like within chapters there's little breaks and then it moves on to something else and you're a bit like, oh, what are you doing? Where's the next bit? So it did pull me through. It was a very quick read and I really enjoyed it, even though it's not brilliantly written. It's not a believable story, but I think that's what these kinds of books are. They're just fantasy that you want to jump inside and imagine that the world is a nice place. Imagine that London at Christmas is fairly empty and calm, and you don't get whacked around by people shopping bags and wrapping paper tubes and all that kind of stuff. But like I say, it's fun, it's cute. You kind of go on this journey with Claudia to find her new way, her new outlook on life without her rubbish ex-boyfriend. It has all that kind of thing that I don't like too much about these, where women need men to be happy. She can't be happy on her own, so she does need a man. And I don't want to put on a feminist hat or anything like that, but that's a little bit irritating. But again, that's all part of the fantasy that we can just jump into and whatever. But yeah, I liked it. It was silly, it was Christmassy, and it did make me feel all snugly warm when she's drinking her hot chocolate and her caramel spiced lattes and wrapping up and going out. And it snows. It snows! Seriously, it never snows at Christmas, but it snows in the book. So, twee, cliche, but I liked it. Slightly guilty pleasure, but yeah. So read it at Christmas time, under your duvet with your Jimmy Jams on, and yeah, just fall into all the typical cliched Christmas images. Yeah, really liked it. So if you'd like to hear any of my other book reviews, then please subscribe. I put videos out every time I've read a book or done something bookish. Writerly, anything really. So if you're interested in any of those things, please subscribe, and I will see you soon. Have a good day. Bye bye.